The train rolled on all night, all day, and we were visited only once by a guard who briefly glanced at our tickets and then inquired with unseemly interest as to our true purpose. I talked to him. He was a curious soul, but a genuine one, I think. "We have Russians visiting the opium dens of Hong Kong," he said. "We see them go, and most times see them return, but we never such gentlemen as you." With that, he sloped away. Hours passed in dusty silence before we reached Beijing. Right. So let's plan out. So, really, do we really only have Hong Kong? We can't go up here to Kumsaka? Gosh. Did the guys... How... No. We need to explore. There's got to be some way to get to Pyongyang from here. Because otherwise we're going south and then doing what? Getting stuck going to Manila? Port Mos... like, and go that way? Ooh. I just realized that traveling around the world, you actually... it changes where the sun is. That's really cool, so you know what day or night it is. Okay, so that's where I want to go, but how do I get there? We're gonna have to figure something out, because there's no way that I'm gonna travel south to end up way, way out of my way. There were no airships sailing across the Beijing sky, nor any evidence of electrification. Though the Chinese did not shun all technology, pelicans were drawn by intrinsically worked and gilded iron lions as often as human servants, and I saw animated metal and jade dragons perched on the gables of imperial buildings, breathing curls of steam vapor and flapping their enamel-feathered wings. Furthermore, I was lucky to catch the performance of the famed Sui Shi opera, the cast consisting entirely of hydraulic elegances, automata by another name. I was told it was an ancient tradition, begun over 1,000 years ago by Huang Gun, an engineer who had made shui si wine pourers and musicians, dancing girls and acrobats for his emperor's court. True, perhaps so, but the opera myself, my friends, it was a thing of great beauty. I forgot that the performers were fashioned from brass and iron, that their eyes were polished onyx, that their lips were gently glazed porcelain. I saw only the purity of their movements. We were the guests of a Manchu court official who clearly believed us to be spies or troublemakers of some nature. Probably sensing my propensity to adventure on a regrettably international scale. As we departed the auditorium, I slipped away from our hosts and went backstage. Ah, my friends, I assure you, only a fraction of the theatrical dramatics take place on stage. My progress was quickly barred by a stage manager wearing a carved jade hairpin and an irate expression. "What are you doing here?" "I am a performer myself," I said. "At least I was once. I'm curious about your production." "It is very different working with Sui Shi," the stage manager smiled. "For one thing, automata are always on time to rehearsal." Oh, sorry. Female backstage manager here. It's okay. She has a deep voice. She took me through a narrow corridor to the dressing rooms, where... let's see... an orchestral engineer was removing the porcelain face from one of the automata with delicate care. Up close I could see that the smooth surface was an illusion. The mask was assembled out of 1,000 interlocking segments which moved according to the merchants within. "Greetings," I said. I was about to add that we were going around the world when the engineer scratched the porcelain with her screwdriver. The entire dressing room hushed in horror, while the engineer herself whirled upon me in a fury. My apologies, madame, if I startled you," I said. "Do you know what you have done? It's ruined! Utterly ruined!" she cried out. She threw the once priceless mask upon the floor. "Get out!" I picked up the discarded mask, slipping it into a spare pocket before the stage manager ushered me out with crossed arms and a stern look. I made my way back to a cafe to meet up with Monsieur Fogg. A pair of opium addicts were slumped in an alley near our hotel, faces blankly blissful despite the emaciation of their limbs. I saw the poison and rot at the heart of Beijing, and wondered how long even such a grand structure could endure it. Oh, interesting. So we could sell the porcelain mask. Alright, let's explore. Let's please, please, please find a way to get north. Oh! What is the... You're kidding me. So we can take a boat all the way around it. I struck up a few conversations here and there, hunting for options as to how we might proceed. Okay. So, what does this travel route do? Because we could go here and then end up here if possible. Otherwise, we're gonna be really stuck. We're all set. We got 3 bags. Arrives Tuesday. Gosh, I'm going to make no time if I go to Pyongyang. Alright. Baking sunshine and mild seas. This will be a bothersome route. Oh boy. Nice boat though. We boarded the Jiaqing, a Chinese junk with billowing patterned sails and a red and gold phoenix painted upon its prow, bound for Vladivostok. So, this I do know. The junk ships of the Japanese and Chinese cultures here have these big, usually a lot more angled sails. Usually a lot of triangular sails that they use. That's what the pirate queen herself rode aboard. Let's see. Do you take passengers often? Captain Zhao made a small gesture with his right hand, as if waving away a stray thought. In peacetime we do, he said. It was not a surprising response. It had been 10 years since the last Opium War, but European powers and Russia still scratched at China's borders. Let's have a conversation. Greetings, Captain. Passport 2, why, my good man? I am sure you know all about Vladivostok. I hear the commercial port has been relocated and is now a military town. Oh, thank goodness. Is it possible to go from Vladivostok to Pyongyang? Absolutely. One can travel by fisherman's boat from Vladivostok to Pyongyang, but the journey is a tiring one. I'm told the Chinese and Japanese vie for influence over Korea. Have you heard that you can get to Yokohama from Pyongyang by Korean trader, but the fare is well beyond most travelers? Interesting. What? Oh my gosh, you are kidding me. You are kidding me. Man, they're gonna destroy me in this. I spent the first day aboard in conversation, hoping to find options for our next journey, and I picked up a nervous Havanese ragamuffin that the traders who sailed from Honolulu to Panama City were always open to healthy bribery. As night drew on, incredible stars filled the sky. It was a most peaceful, beautiful moment. Ah, so we've got travel from Honolulu now. Heck yes. Interesting. So I go to Panama. But I have to get to... Let's go and take care of Monsieur Fogg. Monsieur Fogg. I saw Captain Zhao reading a Chinese newspaper at breakfast and asked if he would tell me the news. He pressed his lips together. It is out of date. The Shenpao is printed in Shanghai, and I only pick it up when I happen to dock there. What is the most interesting story? The paper is campaigning against the employment of young women in opium bars in the French concession. He pointed at the article in question, as they are often asked to perform immoral services. Ooh. The French traders must be up in arms. Captain Zhao nodded seriously. It has turned into quite an uproar. I spent a stimulating afternoon in discussion with Captain Zhao, as the wind filled our fully battened sails and sped us on our way to Vladivostok. The Jia King had to dart between the busy junks filling the harbor to find space to dock. I was keen to see what Vladivostok had to offer and stepped off the boat eagerly to hurry after my master into the city. Oh boy, backtracking better be worth it. Some of our possessions could sell efficiently here. So traveling cloak is part of the gentleman traveler set. Railwayman's cap, part of the railwayman set. We just got rid of the knitted gloves. Oh, we're not going to Hong Kong, but I thought we were going to San Pedro. Thought there was something about San Pedro. Maybe I just I learned about a route to it. I don't think we're gonna do anything with this. I think we're fine. We've got ourselves down to 3 suitcases, so I think we should probably keep it that way. We don't need the bank. We're really good on funds. So let's see. Let's go ahead and explore and see if we learn any more about routes we can go. Oh gosh, I was really hoping that there would be a straight land trip. The military port of Vladivostok looked out over the calm black water of the Sea of Japan and was populated largely by sailors of the Far East Fleet and a mix of Chinese, Korean, and Russian residents. I was curious about the foreign residents and managed to chance upon Diu Fang, a talkative Chinese merchant who spoke a remarkable array of languages, including French. "We are not foreigners," he exclaimed. "Good sir, my family has lived in Haishenzwai for many generations." "Haishenzwat?" I stammered, as he snorted with laughter. I kept trying, until I managed a semblance of the correct sounds. Fang looked impressed by my effort, at least. "Most foreigners have this trouble," he said neutrally, and I was rather abashed. Haishenzwai means sea cucumber cliffs. It is the Chinese name for the city of Vladivostok, though it once was called Yongmingsheng, City of Eternal Light. The earlier name is more evocative, I opinioned, and Feng agreed. "Yes, my friend, much is lost with time." The hour was getting late by the time I made it back to my hotel, but my adventure here was far from over. An imposing Imperial Army officer accosted me in reception and subjected me to a thorough search. I objected most strongly, and he threw me to the floor and then studiously went through our cases and my pockets anyway, although of course he found nothing seditious. "Vladivostok is a closed port," he declared. "You'll be held while a decision is taken in your case." Oh, gosh. I attempted to bluster my way through in a dramatic fashion with a stirring tale of abduction by Mongol tribesmen. Oh, my gosh. We just lost several days here. Daring escapes, a horseback, and near drownings in freezing rivers. Alas, I had not accounted for the Russian taste for tragedy over adventure. The officer was utterly unmoved. And so it was that we came to spend 4 nights in a Russian military jail, not an experience I would recommend even for the hardiest of travelers. When we were finally released, it was without much discussion. We were pointed to the docks and told to leave, and quickly. God, mother... Yikes. So can I go to Pyongyang? Departs tomorrow at 5 p.m. Is it worth it? Do I have... Where's my bag? Where's my bag? So it's worth a ton of money there, which might help us in the long run. Alright, alright. I'm gonna go for it. Oops, excuse me. I'm gonna go for it, so that means we're gonna sleep tonight. With the last night of the evening, I attended to Monsieur Fogg, ensuring we had fresh tea with the intention that he would have a restorative night. Relations have strengthened slightly, so he's at about 80% right now. And this is not going to be an easy trip on him, so we're gonna go ahead and... Oh! The physical restorative set helps. Awesome, cool. So he's going to not take as huge a hit as I thought. We found a small fishing yacht whose crew were earning a little extra money by taking passengers around the coast of Pyongyang. Let's converse. Greetings, Madame Thiapo. Hardly the most salubrious transport is this. I've gathered you can get to Yokohama from Pyongyang by Korean trader, but the fare is well beyond most travelers. You mentioned steamships. I've been told my uncle had a friend who worked aboard the cargo steamer from Lima to Santiago. Is there a route from Yokohama to Honolulu? You'd have to ask my secretary, but you can pick up buffalo hides in Honolulu. Extremely valuable in Omaha. Interesting. Why do they have buffalo hides in Honolulu? Let's learn more about Honolulu. What more can you tell me about Honolulu? Did you realize that you can pick up wax cylinders inscribed with music in Honolulu that you can sell for a profit in Atlanta? Oh, you can go to Georgia. Cool. So, from Lima, so we're now in South America. Yeah. I don't know. It's a bit out of my way. I feel like I definitely need to take another trip, because it's like I'd love to go through Africa instead and then come up and around here and then come down this way, like do a whole southern hemisphere trip, because I am like totally in the northern hemisphere exclusively here, which granted is probably the quickest route since we started in the northern hemisphere and we're just going to kind of take it around this way. But yeah, let's go for it. We were put aboard with few other travelers, and each given a tiny area in which to bunk down. The fishermen were cheerful souls, despite their rough conditions and hardy life. They sang shanties as they fished and tossed equipment at each other with abandon, hoping to send their fellows tumbling into the sea. I joined them in their sport, missing my old acrobatic days, and found myself rusty but still nimble. Monsieur Fogg, let us say, did not much approve, so he did not like that I was playing with the boatmen. Let's attend to him then, so that he feels better about life. I spent the day, eavesdropping, trying to find options for our next leg, and I discovered from a remarkably energetic Chinese soldier that pirates frequently hijack airships traveling into the Caribbean from New Orleans. The sun set behind the distant land, and the waves lapped around our boat. The fishermen sang as the stars appeared, and for a brief moment all was calm. Okay. A bit more information there. Our boat arrived into Pyongyang in the early hours of the next morning, and our fishermen waved us ashore. We made good progress, I reflected, but it would take a few days to shift the stink of so many fish. So we are now officially behind because we were detained by the Russian police there. Yes, definitely our things will be valuable, like this Western Star, which we are going to sell for like $1 bajillion. Hand mirror. Ooh. I feel like we should take that. Singapore. We're not going down to Beijing or Singapore, so I'm not going to take that one. We don't have the frequent flyer thing anymore. Ooh, and we have a heavy storm set. This might be really useful for crossing the sea here. Let's see. Can we... Yes, we're going to take the safety harness, and I'm thinking of selling something else. Yokohama... Okay, so these both will be valuable when we go to Japan. So, we got the porcelain mask. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to end up in Gastown. It's worth a lot of money, but I think I'm just going to sell it now. And I think we might sell our Englishman's wardrobe, because I don't think we're going to have much use for it overall. So let's just go ahead and get rid of it. Get the hand mirror. And I think that'll be it. We'll have some open spots for other things that we find along the way. Alright, so let's go and plan here. Arrives Saturday, departs tomorrow, and oh gosh, we could have taken all this stuff. I should have planned before I did all that. Oh well. Let's go ahead and go back to Pyongyang. And let's go and explore while we're waiting. Hey! Not really gonna go that way, but that's cool. Is there another route that'll get me to there faster? Pyongyang was a battleground, even between competing groups of Chinese and Japanese businessmen. The Koreans seemed to regard both sides with wariness, and European faces even more so. There were a surprising number of Americans on the streets, but then Americans, so it was said, were perennially drawn to opportunities for commerce. It had a most restful and charming atmosphere, air thick with the smell of frying river mullet, school children swatting at each other with colorful umbrellas, women in chima Giogori, shopping and fluttering silk fans at their bows. Because, you know, just add all the vowels into a word and we'll just call it a day. We're only missing I. Even my master summoned a remark upon it as he put adequacy. Relations with Fog have strengthened. Good. Let's go ahead and make sure that I'm still good here. Departs tomorrow. Okay. So let's go ahead and stay at the hotel. We'll pass the night. As night fell, I went out to explore a little, and entered a conversation with a cheerful Siamese clerk who had lost a monocle, which I helped to recover, and from whom I learned that the fastest way to Singapore is to go via Manila. I assured him we were unlikely to head that way, at which my friend nodded. I can't see why you're on this trip anyway. Yeah, because Singapore would be down here. So, we're going to Yokohama. Alright. Safety harness from the heavy storm set will see to us right. Okay, good. So, interesting. It doesn't seem like I have the full heavy storm set, but I've got enough that it gives me a bit of a boost. So it's good to know that even if I don't have everything from the set, I can still get some boost from it. Look at this ship. It's huge. We took passage on a Korean vessel crewed by a mix of Koreans, Mongolians, and Siberians who regarded Monsieur Fogg with grave curiosity. I considered charging £1 to look at him. I might have made £20. They continued to goggle at my master in mild disbelief until he retreated below deck with the slightest of furrows etching his brow. Let's attend to him. You are most diverting, my good man. For the first day aboard, we kept ourselves mostly to ourselves. The crew seemed busy with their tasks, and I was happy to have fewer of those myself. Monsieur Fogg was his usual impervious self, however, and made his calculations and read his newspaper. Meanwhile, the boat steamed onwards. We must make haste. Yeah, we are already at 45 days. Let's see what the news is saying. Rumblings intensify of Russo-Japanese War. Russo-Japanese War. One of the cabin girls, Elena, spoke good English and was attached to us as a translator, though she created as much conversation as she explicated. Do you know my parents? Are they famous? Elena nodded. My father was a Russian officer, maybe, I think, and Mama comes from a famous Cossack family. They're all soldiers. A Russian officer, maybe? I raised an eyebrow. Well, Mama met him when she was dressed as a man and joined the Cossack host. He was very surprised, I think. Elena shrugged. Mama says he died of shock, leaving me as a present, but I think he probably ran away because Mama is so fierce. She looked proud rather than distressed at this prospect. I blinked down at the little cabin girl, rather at a loss as to how I should respond. That's nice, I hazardized, and she nodded enthusiastically. Mama runs the boiler room. All the sailors are frightened of her, she told me rather wistfully. One day I will be like her. Elena made a mock fierce face, and I pretended to quake in terror until we both began to laugh uproariously. More seriously, a friend in the boiler room was useful. I wondered idly out loud if it would be possible to speed up our arrival to Yokohama. Elena nodded vigorously. I will ask my mother, and with that she hurried away. Oh, please. Hey, we got a little bit of a boost there, maybe? Let's keep talking. Greetings, mademoiselle. Good day, Frenchman. Now, what do you know about Yokohama? My childhood sweetheart used to work aboard the Water Lily from Yokohama to San Francisco. Let's see here. Let's learn about San Francisco. Do tell me more about San Francisco. They say that San Francisco is one of the most advanced American cities, but now I've learned to tie my own shoelaces. Okay, that's awesome. Excellent, that is well learned. You think I'm young and silly, I understand. What about Honolulu to San Francisco? Is there a route from Honolulu to San Francisco? I would not hold out too much hope, monsieur. How the heck are we going to get across the sea? Is it possible to travel from San Francisco to Las Vegas? Oh no, I've forgotten. I'm so sorry. And she's gone. Oh! What is this going to? That is quite the journey. Oh my gosh. We can go straight to San Francisco? Oh, that's going to be great. Elena knocked on my door unreasonably early in the morning, eyes bright. The price of arriving today, she informed, in clear tones that suggested she was repeating a memorized script, is 800 pounds, and, she added, if you can't afford that, then you can boil your heads. So, she must be, her mother must be, accepting the bribe, as it were. You know what? We have a deal. We sold that jewel. We have enough money. I handed over the money. Elena ran off and returned out of breath a few minutes later. Mama said to tell you, Elena told me, pride evident in every word, we will be arriving early. Today, in fact. Your maman is a marvel, I exclaimed, and she gave me a grin before slipping away, her arm raised in just the slightest of military-style salutes. Monsieur Fogg lowered his newspaper a fraction and cleared his throat in what I took to be an approving manner, but made no further comment. God, he's kind of a dud. Like, all the other people I've met on this journey have been really interesting, and he's kind of like, whatever, I'm here, and we're just going along this journey together. Our funds have gone down, but we have arranged a higher relation with Monsieur Fogg. Alright, some of our possessions could be sold here. Yes, they can, but the market does not open until tomorrow. So what does our route look like? Oh, lordy. Okay, so we got some time in the morning to sell things. Departs for San Francisco at 3 p.m. Okay. So let's go ahead and sleep the night. Before going to bed, I afforded my master every service, ensuring he had fresh tea. Relations with Fogg have strengthened slightly, because this boat ride is going to be hard. Market opens at 7. I'm just going to go and wait. I'm not going to risk the 4 hours here. Here we go. Almost. Come on. 7 o'clock. Open the doors. Open the doors. It's time for Black Friday. Okay, here we go. Oh, what do we got? Okay, so this one, gonna give us a lot more money here. And then, was it this? No, San Francisco, Calgary. Ah, the hand mirror, is valuable here. Monkey wrench is part of the engineer set. Might be useful on the big boat we're traveling on. Unsealable wallet attached to the inside of the pocket by elastic, part of the urban traveler set. I feel like we should probably take that. I'm not sure if we're going to end up in Burlington. I'm not going to go with the amethyst. Let's go with the monkey wrench. And I think we're gonna leave it there. All right, folks, we're gonna go ahead and leave it there. Oops, as we plan out our trip across the sea to San Francisco. Now, hope you enjoyed this leg of our journey, and I will see you on the next one.